During the War of 1982, the Falklands War, the British were able to reclaim their territory from the invading Argentinian forces. Then, during the war, the British were able to receive support from France. But formal secret documents show that the French may have been working for both sides of the conflict. So in May of that year, the Argentinian forces used the Escort or the Escort missile during the airstrikes that would kill 32 people. Yep. The missiles were fired at the British ship of the HMS Sheffield and the Atlantic Convoy. The missiles were sold to Argentina by the French prior to the war, before it seemed likely that the two countries would actually enter into combat with each other. Right? When the war began, France embargoed weapons sales and their support for Argentina. They also allowed the British to use the French ports in West Africa and to provide them with the information of the weapons and the planes and the materiel that they sold Argentina, like the baguette launchers, the escargot tanks, and maybe the wine artillery pieces. President Francois Mitterrand made the decision to aid the British, while the United Kingdom Secretary of State of Defense, Sir John Knott, praised France for being the United Kingdom's greatest ally. Members of the French government were not pleased with their president's decision, though. So the French ambassador to London, Emmanuel de Macron, wrote a scoffing letter and description of Margaret Thatcher as a Victorian imperialist and obstinate, with a tendency to get carried away by combative instincts. The French official Bernard Durand decried Britain's superpower arrogance and their profound contempt for Latinos. He made these claims in a document that was titled The Falklands War: Lessons from a Fiasco. A BBC investigation was uncovered and has uncovered evidence that even though the embargo was actually put in place, a team from France actually worked with the Argentinian troops in the Falklands during the war. The team allegedly tested the missile systems like the Escort and others to make sure that they would work. It's raining. Three of the missiles failed and the team repaired the issue, which allowed the missiles to be used against the British troops, yet again. 100 years war, 100 years still on. Well, the French must be the French. But seriously, during the war, 659 Argentinians and 253 British troops were killed. The Falklands War began when the Argentinian troops invaded the Falkland Islands on the 2nd of April 1982 as a bad April Fool's joke. The Falklands are a British territory located in the southwest Atlantic Ocean off of the coast of Argentina. Argentina has long claimed the rights to the islands, which they call the Malvinas. Argentina actually inherited the islands from the Spanish crown in the early 1800s, but due to infighting, the frontier wars into the Caraco Desert, and other such stuff as that, I think Caracas is actually a capital of one of these Latin American states, but do not quote me on that. I'm here to do the history, not geography. Argentina actually inherited the islands right in the 1800s, and the British were like, you know what, I shall take that for myself, thank you, goodbye. Most of the residents of the Falklands are actually of British descent. British claims to the rights of the islands based on their long-term administration of the islands and of the principle of self-determination for the islanders, or if you don't like England, we won't feed you. That is the case, my man. Argentina did not believe that the United Kingdom would respond with a force if they invaded the islands. But despite being 8,000 miles away, British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher sent a force of warships and hastily refitted merchant ships to reclaim the British territory. The British submarine, the HMS Conqueror, sank the Argentinian cruiser, the General Belgrano, on the 2nd of May 1982, in the most infamous or most famous part of this war, the Gotcha. 300 crew members would actually lose their lives on the ship, though, and after that, the Argentinian military and, well, the Navy as well, kept their ships at port. But the Argentinian Air Force, or the Argentine Air Force, was still a threat to the British. Their aircraft actually sunk several British ships as well, warships. Still, the British were able to land on the Falklands on the 22nd of May 1982. The conscripted Argentinian troops had plenty of time to dig in and fortify their defenses, but they were not trained well enough to defend against the oncoming British forces. Probably some Gurkhas in there as well. I do believe, don't quote me, but I do believe the Gurkhas were kind of assigned to the British military in a treaty. I did it in the Gurkha episode. I remember, yes, I even mentioned the Falklands War. Yes, I remember. Anyway, on the 11th of June 1982, the battle for the capital, which was Stanley, was on the way, and the Argentinians surrendered on the 14th of July 1982. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you liked that one. Just a quick phone, 5 minutes. Just a quick phone thing. Well, I did it in 6 minutes and I didn't even feel rushed. Wow. Anyway, I'm just going to send this voice note out and see if it sticks, and I hope you enjoyed. Hope you like the ambience of outside, and I'll see you next time. Well, this is a test from the phone again. Alright, so just talk, open mouth. Right. I think I got it now, guys. I really believe that I truly got it. Just stay calm, just stay relaxed. Don't try to overdo, just talk, and make sure you're not going too fast, but just talk and just be you. Just relax. Enjoy the ride. Right. Anyway, bye-bye.